Hello and welcome back to Dynamite Dunks. The Detroit Pistons had a back-to-back during Halloween weekend. It was basically trick or treat, the treat being a win over the Orlando Magic and the unfortunate trick of being destroyed by the Brooklyn Nets. Cade Cunningham made his debut and looked scary, but not in the way you would expect. A lot of stuff to cover on this one. With all that said, let's begin. After 4 games, Cade Cunningham made his Pistons debut. I expected him to have an instant impact on offense, but he decided to be a defensive monster. Cade made Jalen Suggs' life a living nightmare, sending his shots to the shadow realm. This hustle and heart on the defensive end had the crowd hyped. Back on offense, Cade worked in tandem with Killian to get the ball moving. The starters had a tendency to go full hero ball, but not this game. The starters shared the ball and played with pace. Cade had an immediate impact and he didn't even have to score a ton of points. MC finished with 2 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 block. We know Cade can score, so the offense will come eventually. For now, his hustle on defense and the boards is enough to get the Pistons back on track. The scary second unit from preseason made an appearance this game. The Pistons were down, but the bench responded with a run. Olynyk was the main culprit. In every area of the game, he had a hand in. KO is splashing threes while also doing damage inside. When he plays like this, the Pistons are hard to stop. He even hit an off-balance 3 as the shot clock expired, just to flex. On defense, Kelly has made a home in Detroit because he was saying "not in my house" a lot this game. Olynyk finished with 18 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. The stats just speak for themselves. KO is a big reason why the Pistons won and will be the reason they continue to win. After the game, a lot of fans were mad Corey Joseph played the entire second half, but I have to ask them to chill as he was key to this victory. He was just bullying the poor Magic guards.
They're just a bunch of children.
Yes.
While most of the team was smiling, Kojo was mugging the Orlando Magic. Every steal he had was converted into points on the other end. Kojo finished with 11 points, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Spearheading the comeback and making opposing guards cry is exactly what you want in a veteran point guard. Now on to Josh Jackson, who was scorching from 3-point range. The Magic left him open and paid dearly for that. JJ also had a 4-point play on a smooth step back. Josh finished with 13 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. When JJ blocks a shot, you can hear it around the world. That energy he brings is what the Pistons need. Never have I been more wrong about a player than Trey Lyles. He did most of his damage at the free throw line, going 6-6 from the stripe. He blew a layup in the 4th quarter, then after that decided to throw it down the rest of the game. Trey finished with 12 points and 2 assists. The Pistons are not taking. From media day, everyone is on the recording saying they want to win. If you were wondering why the second unit played most of the 3rd and 4th, that's why. Casey went with that group that put the Pistons in a position to win. Now he did the same thing in the second game, and that was his downfall, but we'll get to that later. With Killian and Cade both finding targets, there will be a benefactor, and that was Isaiah Stewart. The Pistons center found himself open a lot, and Stu took full advantage of that. There was a nice play where Cade, Grant, and Stu were involved in an action. Orlando's defense totally forgot about Stu, and that left him open for a wide open dunk. Stu finished with 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. We know he's a force inside, but Stu had active hands, earning some steals. Last note, with the offense versatility Isaiah has shown thus far, expect his point totals to be higher. Saddiq Bey had a throwback game. His threes were falling, and that opened up the floor for the rest of the team. Then to end the game, he caught a lob from Olynyk. After that, it was officially time to celebrate the Pistons' win. Saddiq finished with 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 block. Last player I wanted to discuss is Go-To Grant. He had the most quiet 20-point game you'll ever see. Jeremy had no issues driving to the basket and drawing fouls. We know he can score, but 2 areas where Grant is improving are rebounding and passing. He had 2 plays where he got an offensive rebound, then found the open man for a score. Those plays inflict major damage to opposing defenses, adding insult to injury. Grant finished with 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Final note on Grant was leadership. He spent the entire game hyping up his teammates, something you love to see. The Detroit Pistons finally are in the win column. With Cade in the starting 5, they have a different energy and tempo. It will take time for them to build chemistry, but that's okay. There's still 70 plus games to go. Pistons could pull off a second half surge when the schedule eases up. Now for the beatdown that happened the day later. The Pistons were without Cade and for some reason decided to play an injured Jeremy Grant. He's been dealing with an elbow injury and it burst with how many times he hit the floor. Dude was playing on pure adrenaline, so I didn't expect him to play this game. Pistons are too deep of a team to have these issues. Coach Casey was not in his bag versus the Nets. He was too stuck on the success from last game to do the obvious in this one. Kojo, Olynyk, and Grant should have sat this game. We had a 0% chance of winning in the first place, so it would have been a perfect game for the young players to get some development. On to the game plan, where the Pistons were chucking up threes the entire game. Killian and KO had success getting into the paint, which makes sense since the Nets don't have a shot blocker. Another thing the Pistons haven't been doing this entire regular season is post-ups. In preseason, we saw a lot of post-up plays. They seem to have completely abandoned that strategy. One of the bright spots was Killian Hayes on defense. He had a play where he locked down James Harden. That resulted in a steal. Speaking of steals, he recorded 5 of them. In these first 6 games, Hayes has been fantastic on defense. He's been a big reason why the Pistons are top 10 in that category. Kill finished with 6 points and 5 steals. He had success attacking the paint this game. Hope he can build on that. Now this next topic doesn't exactly relate to any specific game. That's who should be getting more minutes, Hamidou Diallo or Frank Jackson. At this point, both haven't played up to their standards. Frank is supposed to be one of the team's best shooters. Casey has been running plays for him to get going, but that hasn't happened at this point. On the flip side, Hammy has showed up on defense every game he's played, but his offense has been inconsistent. At the end of the day, we need production for both players. Let me know in the comments below who you think should be the backup shooting guard. Last thing to cover from this game was Cade's wardrobe, which isn't getting that much attention. He wore a green shirt that read "Healthy Mind, Healthy Body." Now this could read as 2 things. 1, Cade could just be trying to tell fans, hey, I'm fine, my ankle is okay. The latter is, these are shots at the Pistons medical staff, who cleared Grant to play with an injury but has put a healthy MC on minutes restriction. If you ask me, it's all the above. Cade wants to play and you can see that. My biggest takeaway from this one is that the Pistons can't hang with championship contenders at 50%.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
And that wraps up this video. The Pistons play again November 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Their opponents will be the defending champions. The Bucks have a more confident energy since winning a title. It will be another tough game for the Pistons. On the bright side, that will be Cade's second game. Can't wait for it. If you were hyped about the Pistons win, hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos just like this one. That's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.